Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says he wants to continue pushing for peace in Ukraine despite the recent escalation. Erdogan was speaking at a regional summit in Kazakhstan. The Turkish leader is meeting Russia's President Vladimir Putin there. Turkey has retained close ties with both Moscow and Kiev and has offered to organize peace talks. Erdogan says his goal is to bring an end to the bloodshed as soon as possible.
We are all closely experiencing the effects of the crisis in Ukraine on a regional and global scale. I always say that a just peace can be established with diplomacy, that there are no winners in war and no losers in equitable peace.
DW's Julia Hahn is following those talks from Istanbul. I asked her what has emerged so far.
Well, so far, Terry, we haven't heard any details about Erdogan's renewed efforts at diplomacy or what Vladimir Putin thinks about it. When the two leaders briefly appeared before cameras, they focused on energy security, and Putin proposed that Russia could export more gas via Turkey to European Union countries after the Nord Stream pipeline leaks, essentially turning Turkey into a hub for Russian energy, for Russian gas. Of course, he's well aware of the fact that many European countries have been scrambling in recent months to secure alternatives to Russian gas. Let's listen to what Vladimir Putin said.
We might consider the perspective of building yet another gas pipeline system and creating a gas hub in Turkey for sales to other countries. First of all, of course, European countries. Only, of course, if they are interested.
Well, that is, of course, the big question. If they're interested, Putin also said that his proposal would mean that prices could be determined without politics. His spokesman said that Turkey reacted positively to the idea, but we haven't heard anything directly from Erdogan yet. The Turkish president only said that he was looking forward to intensifying ties with Moscow from energy to security. And, of course, statements like that are viewed with a lot of concern in Western capitals.
So we've got Putin focusing on energy there, but Erdogan saying in advance of this meeting that he wants to search for a diplomatic solution to the Ukraine war. What exactly is President Erdogan's role in all of this?
Well, Erdogan still sees himself as the key mediator in this crisis. He has performed a balancing act between Ukraine and Russia since Russia invaded the country in February. Turkey is a NATO member, but it has so far refused to join Western sanctions against Moscow, even though I should add that the Turkish government has clearly condemned Russia's annexation of 4 Ukrainian regions last month. But the Turkish president is trying to continue this balancing act. He is hoping to bring together Volodymyr Zelensky and Vladimir Putin for peace talks because he says diplomacy is the only way out of this. And ahead of today's meeting, there were reports about a Turkish proposal to host talks between Russia and the West on Ukraine in the weeks to come. But of course, the big question is how realistic is that? Because neither Russia nor Ukraine seem to particularly want talks right now.
Indeed, that's one question. Another question is how likely is it that Putin would listen to Erdogan, given that Turkey is part of NATO?
Well, the relationship between Vladimir Putin and Recep Tayyip Erdogan is a very complicated one, but Russia has essentially become a pariah in most of the Western world. So I do believe that Vladimir Putin needs at least a few partners, a few allies, and that's why I think he's still talking to Recep Tayyip Erdogan. So Putin needs Erdogan in a way, and Erdogan needs Putin, at least when it comes to the economy. The Turkish economy is ailing. We have skyrocketing inflation rates here. So for Turkey, trade ties with Moscow, energy cooperation is very important.
Julia, thank you so much. Good to see you again. Our correspondent, Julia Hahn, there in Istanbul.